I've managed to get the drawer out. I, in the end, just pulled and pulled, and it just came out. And I'm sure that there was some little bit of grit or something just holding it up. Inside, this little box here has all the little tiny, tiny little weights, just enough to weigh little bits of linen thread. Absolutely beautiful. I have actually found one of the pieces that I was looking for, where one of the dishes hangs onto like that. The big problem is, I was hoping for two of these to be in there, that I need another one, which means that I've got to replicate this. This is quite a bit of engineering, so it's quite a challenge. It's more complex than it looks. There's this little frame here and a little cup in the bottom of the frame that holds a jewel. The reason why they use jewels in these devices is to reduce all of the friction, because they're weighing such tiny, tiny things that any friction would prevent it from measuring accurately the weight of them. And so the knife edge that these sit on acts as a pivot for when it goes down or up like that. And there's just no friction whatsoever there. I can't make a new sapphire jewel, so I need to reproduce a steel replica. It's rather nice.
It is, it's very nice.
So tell me, who did this belong to?
Originally, it was my grandmother's, and then when she died, my mother inherited it. Yeah. And then when Mother died in 2000, I inherited it. And, I mean, Mother cherished it all her life. You know, it's one of her things that really meant a lot to her.
Right.
So, I mean, you know, I couldn't part with it.
This is a reproduction made in Victorian times of a Louis XVI clock. So I'm just going to take out these taper pins.
He's going to break the clock mechanism down to its hundreds of components. But this one isn't giving up the ghost that easily.
The last person to put this clock together must have been built like an athlete, because they screwed in all the screws, everything really, really tightly. I've actually found a bent tooth. It would have had a major effect on the working of the strike mechanism. I've just got to a point now where I can get the mechanism together. I've cleaned all the clock up, done it all by hand. I oil it, and then it should be absolutely fine then for a good 10 years. We try not to touch any of the parts by hand, because the actual acids in your sweat can actually make an imprint into the brass after a while. We'll just wind up the actual ticking part of the mechanism. And all the wheels are turning nicely. So I've cleaned all this spool work up with cotton wool and a brass cleaning fluid. I wasn't going to clean these mounts up at all. But I decided in the end I would, because they looked a little dull, so I gave them a quick dip in a clock cleaning fluid, took them out, brushed them up, and I've lacquered the whole of the case now with a shellac-based lacquer. I don't want to break this glass, because that's a real pain to get it cut the right size. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. They look absolutely stunning when they're done up.
Oh, my God.
How's that?
It's
Oh,
beautiful.
my goodness.
Yeah, it's got a lovely shine to it.
Robert last heard this chime 20 years ago.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh.
Oh, it's got a lovely tone.
Ooh. Can we have a look at the back? And
Of course you can.
look at that.
My.
So I'll just pop that off. There we are. It's absolutely black. This mechanism is made by the Ansonia Clock Company. These were made in the thousands and thousands, but they do just bang on for years and years. And then when they come in to be repaired, they are extremely worn, like this one is. Some of the teeth are quite worn, and also the bearings have got extreme wear on them. So what I need to do to this clock is strip the mechanism down completely. I made these up out of a broken pair of pliers, and they're nice little pullers. Right, I'm just going to take the main plate off now. It's really, really dirty. What I need to do is put in the clock cleaner, clean it all up, because I can't work on a clock that is filthy like this. Right, well.
Hey, Steve.
I know you're busy, but can you totally restore this case?
Classic.
It's really loose. Everything's just falling to bits.
Oh, Steve,
it fell to bits.
This surface is pretty rough.
It's really rough.
It's like an alligator skin.
I know, absolutely. It's all crazed up, hasn't it?
Leave it with me, and I am going to try my best to do something absolutely magical for you.
Perfect, thank you.
I think it's mahogany underneath there, and it looks as if someone has tried to polish this at some point. Problem is, if you're polishing a surface that's dirty or waxy or greasy, that new layer doesn't really sit well, so then it tends to react and bubble up almost, and that feels like what's happened here. It needs to be stripped and repolished. So this is quite fast-working paint stripper, and that will remove all the varnish off the surface, but it won't damage the wood. Lovely. You can see the mahogany coming through underneath. See, that's one of the really nice things about this job. When you have something that looks really sad and tired on the surface, and when you start cleaning it back, it can reveal something so wonderful.
Clock, and everywhere I look there's a fault. I'm surprised it was ever working. There's quite a few bent teeth, there's worn teeth. I'm going to start off by filing some of these up to the right form. Beautiful. There we are. That's opened up enough. Get my pusher. Yeah. There we have it. This clock is a 30-day clock, which means you wind it up once a month. Whoa. So you've got this this one pivot hole with probably about almost 0.5 millimetre of wear, which in clock terms is huge. If that's worn, then the wheels don't mesh properly. Instead of nicely sort of meeting like that, they actually start hitting on the top like that and causing a lot of friction. So what I need to do is reduce the size of the pivot hole. And to do that, I need to use a bush, which is one of these little things. Before I pop that into the plates, I need to just open up the hole in the centre there, big enough for the pivot just to slide in nice and snugly. So I'm just going to open up the hole using a broach, which is a 5-sided tapered cutting tool. And as I spin the lathe, I just gently push it in, and it opens up the hole nice and evenly. I'm now going to use a different sort of cutting tool, and this is a reamer, which again is tapered, but will open up the hole just the right size for the bush to go in. These sort of tools have been used for hundreds of years. The hole that it opens up is slightly smaller than the bush, so when you push the bush in, it holds it so tight that it won't come out. And when I push it in, it'll be really friction tight. I'm just going to make sure that it spins nicely. Good, that's nice and smooth. Just got another probably 12 to do. And then I can get the clock back together and get it ticking.
What have you got? Well, I've got a doll, and it's a dancing doll, but it doesn't dance as well as it used to.
Okay.
It's rather fragile. She comes in 4 pieces. The legs, the lower body, and the parts don't actually connect to each other unless they're sat on top of each other. And that's how it dances. Here's the upper body, and it sits on this little love heart-shaped wire there. Oh. And the final bit is the head, and that sits right at the top there. So you get a sense of her moving her head.
Yeah.
So it was one of my earliest childhood memories, actually, to see this doll dancing.
So where's she from?
From a place called Tanjore, South India. It was given to us in the mid-1970s from somebody who we called Auntie Florence.
So what was your relationship with her?
Well, Auntie Florence wasn't our real auntie. She was a very, very close family friend. My parents moved into this street in London from Assam in the northeast of India in 1966. And the day after they moved in, she welcomed them to the street. Auntie Florence became a motherly figure to my mum. And she became like our surrogate grandmother for us.
Right.
We were very close to her. She was just a fun person to hang out with and very, very influential on us and made us very aware of English culture as well. And I remember as a child going into her house thinking, wow, English people's houses smell of cake. And whenever we say goodbye to Auntie Florence, the doll would be quite high up on a shelf, and we'd ask Auntie Florence to tap it, and it would dance, and my sister and I would just look at each other and go, wow, this doll is dancing. It was always a joyous end to a trip to Auntie Florence's house.
I think everyone needs an Auntie Florence next door to them, don't they?
Absolutely.
Auntie Florence passed away when I was about 13, and I'm the custodian of this now.
So the damage that's occurred, I can see her arm is broken. Is that just through wear and tear?
I have a guilty confession. I may have dropped her when I was a child.
Okay.
When was the last time you saw it actually working properly?
Probably when I was around 8 years old.
Oh, right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's a long time ago.
OK, right, yeah.
When she was in her heyday, the movement would be prolonged and her head would sway. It's utterly hypnotic to actually see that, and that's how I remember her.
I think this is great. This is almost like a mobile, and I used to make mobiles, so I know how critical it is to get all the balance absolutely right. Basically, there's a little heart-shaped wire, and then there's a wire inside that sits on, and that has to be absolutely right as well, in the right position. I just need to replicate this piece of wire in the top of the legs, and then the body should sit on there, and it should move absolutely perfectly after I've done that. I'm just going to take a piece of wire. This little heart shape sits on the other part of the body like that, so that it'll rock this way and that way, but won't turn all the way around because of those 2 bits of the heart there. So it's quite critical that I get that little radius there absolutely right.
I've got a 2-part filler here that I'm just going to fill this area of loss with. I'm trying not to affect the balance mechanism by using something that's going to be too heavy, but I also don't want something that is going to be hard to cut back or sand back, because this is a very fragile surface. It's not been fired, it's just painted on, and I don't want that to be affected when I come to shape the filling.
What I need to do is actually find out where all these bits that Bob has left actually go in the clock. Because I didn't actually take all these bits out, I don't know where they all go, so there's no plans for this, so I've just got to work it out. Good. At least all the wheels are spinning. At least we'll get the clock working. It is a bit of trial and error. These two bits go in there. Now, this rack actually runs into this wheel here. I think this is actually where it turns one of the wheels in the time recording mechanism. OK, that's good. That all lines up, that's really good. That means that the bracket's in the right place as well. I've got one shaft there that doesn't seem to have a place, and a bit worryingly, a wheel. What I'll do is I'm going to get it all back in the case and see if it all works. And if it doesn't work for some reason, it may be because of this wheel. What I'm going to do is get the clock mechanism in. I'll get the time recording mechanism in and get all the linkages sorted out. I've just got to get everything set up correctly.
After years of silence, the clock's finally upright and ticking. But it needs its wood and brass case.
Hey, Steve. Finished that little repair for you.
That's good.
I was a bit worried about the colour match, but I think it's all right.
It's absolutely spot on.
Yeah. Is this what it's going on?
It is. You've got the main drive here coming down there that drives the clocking in mechanism.
Okay.
When it was brought in, Bob presented me a bag of bits. And
to fix it before.
I don't know whether this was a joke or not.
You've got missing bits left.
I've got an extra wheel.
Oh, my God. OK.
It's working without. I'm not sure whether someone put it in as a joke. We certainly used to do that to apprentices.
Oh, you didn't?
Put an extra wheel in, and they'd be struggling to find where it went.
Oh, that's cruel. I'm glad I'm not your apprentice.
Horologist Steve is completing the rebuild of the railway clocking on device, which recorded thousands of workers on their way in and out of work. After dismantling, cleaning and restoring, the clock is almost ready for collection.
Always seems a bit of a shame to cover up all this mechanism because it's so beautiful. I'd quite like to see it, actually. But it's the way it was, so got to cover it up. All done. I'm very, very happy with this. Excellent. This clock is a reproduction of a clock that was made in the 17th century, but it's not a new concept. In fact, Galileo did some experiments with inclined planes and making water clocks. It's the same principle that it takes a certain amount of time to roll down an inclined plane like this. When I push it over and put some weight against it, as if it's rolling down the slope, I can hear the clock ticking, so I know there's life there, and it'll probably need a jolly good overhaul. I think here the main issue isn't the clock itself, it's the actual leather is the problem, because without the serrations being able to dig into the surface, because it's so hard, it's not going to work at all, so we need to get this sorted out.
It's over to Steve's sister, master saddle maker Susie.
Oh, my word, what have you got there?
Need some help. Right, I've got this inclined plane clock, and I've got a problem with the leather with it. Those teeth are supposed to grip onto the leather, and it just slides down at the moment.
Oh, my goodness.
You see?
Yeah,
It's just-
yeah.
Instead of...
They're not very sharp, are they?
No. But
How
it
much
should be
there?
just enough to grip onto the leather.
This is really, really slippy, isn't it? I think perhaps this has been polished.
Yes.
Furniture polish, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very slick.
Can you soften it?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely can. I would imagine this is going to bounce back.
OK, I'll let you get on with that.
OK, brilliant.
Thank you very much, and I'll get on with the clock movement.
No problem.
Next into the repair shop are Nigel and Viv Birch, bringing with them a fragile piece of family history.
It's a sort of a sign of my grandfather's courage in adversity, almost. And now that my son is in a similar sort of position, it's going to be really nice to be able to pass that on down to him and give him some sort of inspiration as well.
Clockmaker Steve is cleaning the brass components of the ornate Victorian skeleton clock. He can now begin work repairing the worn pivot that had caused the clock to stop.
Good, that's straightened out nicely.
Steve's in his element repairing this antique timepiece, but he's going to need help from his fellow craftsmen to complete the job. Will Kirk is the go-to guy when it comes to wood restoration.
Ooh, missing some veneer there.
Yeah, and I wonder whether that's Brenton's field there, putting that metal inlay in. Brenton,
Brenton
come and have a
thing.
look at this. Could you help by filling in that inlay there?
So we
It's
just-
metal.
Yeah, I can pierce you a new one of those. So if I make that,
Yep.
fit that, and then you can
Stick it in.
glue it in when you've
Glue
done
it in.
your veneer. Yeah?
Sounds like teamwork.
OK, Will. I've sawn the photocopy out.
Great job.
OK. Now, I've left a piece of paper on top to stop you scratching it, because that's polished underneath.
You are
That's
so
upside down.
clever.
Brilliant.
Marvellous job.
Excellent.
Lovely, thanks a lot,
OK,
Brenton.
no worries.
Cheers.
With all the components cleaned and repaired, it's time to rebuild the elaborate mechanism.
Just make sure all the wheels turn. Good. I'm going to pop the pendulum on. And all being well, it will tick away merrily. There, beautiful.
With the final pieces in place, all that's left is for Steve to reveal his work to owners Nigel and Viv. With them is their son, Peter, who's taken a break from his Paralympic training to accompany his parents.
Hi, Stephen. Nice to see you again.
You too.
My son, Peter.
Hello. Nice to meet you. Hi. OK, well, I'll not keep you in suspense any longer. So...
Oh, crikey, that's amazing. What a job you've done.
It's the colour I can't get over.
Yes,
It's
that's
just
right.
sparkling, isn't it? Oh, it's going to be treasured, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'll shake your hand, Stephen, over this side.
Absolutely.
That's lovely. When Steve first unveiled the clock, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. After all those years looking at it, from how I remembered it to seeing what it actually should be like, just knocked me flat, really.
Just looking at it, it was just so amazing. It just didn't look like the same clock that we brought in.
Next to bless the repair shop with a visit, Reverend Mike Kinner. He's here to see the repair shop's authority in all things clockwork, Steve Fletcher.
Hello there.
I'm Steve.
Hi, Steve. I'm Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Good to meet you.
What have you brought in?
Well, I got my Jaguar, but it's in my pocket.
Oh, my goodness. Pop it on here. Let's have a look at it. That's very smart.
It's nice, isn't it? Yeah.
It's heavier than I thought it was
It
going
is,
to be.
yes. It's quite a solid lump.
Where does this come from?
Well, my father, when I was about 11 or 12, was sent to America. He brought it back as a present.
This must have been quite an expensive gift when it was new, I'd imagine.
I guess it was. We weren't a well-off family. My father was an engineer, but he was sent to America for just 3 weeks, I think it was.
Right.
And my sister and I had a post office savings account each. And he borrowed £10 off us each to buy a new suit to go.
Oh, my goodness.
So, you see, it was to buy something like that. Heaven knows what it cost, but, I mean, it was a big deal.
That was a lot. For
Yeah.
that.
This hasn't worked for 50 years, I
For
should think.
50 years, right?
Got to be, yeah.
OK.
Yeah.
OK, and have you got the key for it?
I'm sorry, I haven't got the key, no.
OK. It's a beautifully made piece.
It is, isn't it?
If I can get it going, what sort of memories will it bring back to you?
Yeah, well, it brings back memories of childhood, obviously, and memories of father. My father's been deceased now for 18 years, so it'd be nice to say, well, there's a link back again, and I can hand it on to either my son or my grandson one day, provided I don't play with it too much.
This little beauty was produced by the German firm Premita, which first manufactured toy cars in 1948. These models' big selling point was that an adult could stand on the toy and it wouldn't break. And Steve's hoping this one has proved just as durable.
Just having the first look at the car, this is the time when I find out whether it's absolutely falling apart in there or whether there's just some small repairs that need doing. And some of the screws will be holding some of the mechanism. I don't want to take the wrong screw out and hear a whiz bang where everything comes loose. There is an issue with the teeth, and they are damaged slightly on the tips. I've worked out from a picture the scale of the key here and worked out the actual size from measuring the car that I've got. And I found a couple of old pieces of brass, and I'm about to start cutting them up and joining the various bits together until I get to that.
Owner Mike has returned to collect his beloved childhood toy, which has lain stationary on a shelf for half a century.
I'm hoping that it will work and that it will remind me of the times that I played with it when I was a child and bring back those good memories when I first had it and it was brought back to me by my father. It's quite emotional, really, because it's been stationary for so many years. Mending the actual mechanism in the car was wonderful, but the key is a real work of art and something to behold. The key, for me, is the icing on the cake.
Emma Lee has travelled from Colwyn Bay, seeking mechanical marvel Steve Fletcher's help with an irreplaceable childhood toy.
This is my gold edition Etch-a-Sketch.
The most iconic toy.
Yeah, yeah.
I had one as a kid. I'm sure you did.
I didn't have one of my own, but I think one of my sisters had one. I've never seen a gold one. I've never heard of a gold one before.
No.
I know. I was the envy of all of my friends because I got the gold edition.
So, where did you get it from?
When my parents divorced when I was about 8, this is one of the first toys that my dad got for me in his new house. So obviously he wanted to make sure his house was kitted out for me and had stuff ready to play with. So, yeah, this is one of the first things I remember him getting for me. And recently I took it out and it didn't work. I didn't realise how devastated I'd be.
Is your dad still with us?
No, unfortunately my dad passed away back in 2018.
What was Dad's name?
My dad was called William. Everyone called him Bill.
So this is a real connection with your father, then?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so integrally a part of my childhood.
Yeah. Can't wait to have a look inside, and I hope I can get it repaired. Thank you
Thanks a
very
lot.
much.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
I loved playing with these when I was a kid. I'd always try and do a diagonal line from one corner to the other, or a perfect circle, which is really difficult. To get one in to repair, it's just so exciting. But I do need to get inside to have a look and see what's actually gone on. Unfortunately, there's no screws at all, so I was hoping it would just be quite easy to take apart. So I'm just going to try and gently prise this off. I've got to be so gentle with this because if this is glued on, if I try to force it, it'll just break. I think that's so firm that I'm pretty sure that's glued together. Right, I'm just going to use this scalpel to cut away down the seam. Hopefully that'll give me access to the mechanism. I'm just being really careful because I don't want the blade to suddenly slip through and cause any damage. Ooh. That's all good. Wow, there we go. Got it apart now, and this is full of all these beads and aluminium powder. It just sticks to absolutely everything. I can see how it actually works. The two knobs are connected to these wires that go around all of these other pulleys somehow and move these bars up and down, which this little pointer piece is attached to, that would just scratch the powder off of the glass on the front that makes the lines that you're drawing. All these wires have come off. I can't see any of them broken at all. So I think the biggest challenge is going to be working out the configuration of the wires. I'm not sure exactly where they're supposed to go. Right, so I'm going to remove all of the aluminium powder first, and then I can get everything cleaned up.
Steve's perseverance has paid off, and with the sketching toy open, he can turn his attention to its inner world.
I've given everything a really good wash and got rid of all the aluminium powder and the little beads now, and that means I can work on it far easier. What I need to do now is to put all the lines and pulleys, etc., into place on the back plate and try and work out exactly where everything is supposed to go. I'm just going to follow what I can see on the donor sketching toy. I'm going to get into a right old tangle here, I think. This is really very difficult to follow all of this. I've actually followed it all now, and I've got a whole load of cable left, which I shouldn't. So that can't be correct. This is far trickier than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was just going to put the line straight on there, the same as this one, and it's not working. There will be a way, and I will do it, but it might take some time.
Having unravelled the mysteries of the sketching toy's mechanism, Steve is preparing to seal his victory.
I'm just going to put the silicone on there. It will seal up the gap and stop any of the powder from coming through.
Good as new. I'm beaming, thank you so much, honestly. My dad would be ecstatic that it's fixed. It connects to so many events. I'd write happy birthday on it for him, put it out for him to see. It's going to be on pride of place on the bookshelf with really good memories attached to it, and it's just being able to look at it and think of my dad.
Ex-firefighter Stuart Knott is keen to get an expert opinion on a treasured family heirloom.
It's been around the house, but mostly out of sight and not seen, so it'd be nice for it to be on display.
Right, this helmet is fairly intact. There's two major things that are wrong. One is that the crest is pretty dented. The other thing is the leather inner, which is in real poor condition. These helmets were made in quite large numbers, and they're all made of brass, and most of it's either soldered together or screwed together, so it should come apart fairly easy. So, oops, it's just fallen out. Well, that's good. That makes my job a lot easier.
Steve can manage the exterior of the helmet, but the leather interior needs specialist attention. So he's recruiting his sister, saddle maker Susie. With Dom and Susie doing their bit, Steve can now concentrate on restoring the brass links that make up the chin strap.
I'm just going to repair them and solder them back on. It's very, very thin. I guess it's been polished so many times that it's worn down. Right, so I've just got to solder this one. Pop that in the joint.
Steve, Susie and Dom have all played their part. Now it's time to piece it back together.
Whoa. Just in time.
That looks fantastic. See, I knew you could do it. So good.
I know it's far from perfect, but it's just kind of as far as I dare go. I'm so worried about it cracking.
Yeah,
It's really so thin. So
you've made my job very, very easy. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. Cheers. Happy to help.
Just getting to the final stages now. I'm polishing it up, and as soon as I've got it completely polished, I can then put it all back together again, which I'm looking forward to.
Steve needs to shine the helmet to fire department standards, as ex-station commander Stewart has returned for inspection.
Hello, Stuart.
Hi, Steve.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. You all right?
Good, good, good. You're looking forward to this moment?
Yes, I'm very excited.
Excellent. Do you remember how it was when you brought it in?
Yeah, it was dull, dishevelled and dented, I think.
Yeah.
It looked a bit sad.
Right, I won't leave you in suspense any longer.
OK. That is incredible. That really is incredible. I wasn't expecting it to look like that. I've never seen it look like that.
All right.
Better than I've ever seen it. I can't see where it was dented, and it's polished brilliantly. That is incredible. Thank you.
This has been a great project to do. It's been a real team effort.
It's like a new one. Thank you, Steve, for all your work and your colleagues have done on it. Thank you.
Thank you. There we are.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
This is quite a nice skeleton clock. It's been well finished. There's masses of wear. All right, I'm just going to lay it on its back, then I can take the main plate off. This is where we find out where all the trouble is. All right, put that to one side. This is the one thing that I've been looking at. Oh, it is as bad as I thought it was. This pivot here has worn down to almost nothing. That means that at any point, if someone had carried on using the clock, this could have given way and that it would have been catastrophic. It does actually mean that I've got to set to and re-pivot that, which is, it can be quite a tricky job. The other thing that I've noticed is that some of the teeth on this wheel here, this first wheel, there's a whole section of teeth that are bent over. Oh dear. So there's an awful lot of work involved in this, and yeah, got my work cut out on this one.
Clockmaker Steve is cleaning the brass components of the ornate Victorian skeleton clock.
So you can see, even after the first clean, how it's come up pretty gleaming.
He can now begin work repairing the worn pivot that had caused the clock to stop.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off, drill it, and put a new pivot in it. I'm just going to cut that now. Now I need to drill it. There we go. Nice, new, fresh pivot. One of the things that I identified that was wrong in this clock was that about 30 of the teeth of this wheel are bent. What I use is this tool. It's actually a broken watchmaker's tool, but it's got a nice taper on it, and that slides into the slots, and then you can get a tight hold and just twist the bent teeth straight. It's just a matter of going around all of them now. So this is basically doing a bit of dentistry. Good, that's straightened out nicely.
Steve's in his element repairing this antique timepiece. With all the components cleaned and repaired, it's time to rebuild the elaborate mechanism.
After you've done all the work to a clock like this, it's really nice to get it back together and looking as it should do. Just make sure all the wheels turn. Good. I'm going to pop the pendulum on. And all being well, it will tick away merrily. There, beautiful. love the fact that this was presented to John at the premiere of the film. I was brought up with the Beatles, so it's fantastic that I'm working on this. It's quite well made. It's a good, solid metal body on it. The thing that I'm really worried about is that she said there are funnels that come out of the top here, so I have to do a bit of research. There's a couple of springs that are supposed to spring the hatches, and I think the springs are seized up, and that's just preventing them to move easily. So I will just take this apart, and then I can see what's inside and what I'm up against. Just going to gently grind off the rivets. Good. Let's see what we've got in here then. The problem is that these levers that are sort of actuating levers for the hatches are slightly bent, and just 1 millimetre of bend makes all the difference to the way it works. So I'll just take this over to the lathe and see if I can get it straightened up. So you see now just how much out of true it is, and I need to straighten them all up, and I'm hoping it's going to be as simple as that.
With the bent levers and the Yellow Submarine's pop-up hatch mechanism straightened and fixed in place...
Brilliant. It works better than I thought it would.
Steve's turning his attention to the other tiny fixtures and fittings.
One of the next jobs I've got to do is I've got to make a propeller. This really does have to look the part, although it's not actually driving the boat at all. So I've got a piece of plastic, and I'm going to turn this into a propeller. I'm just going to cut around to make the circle. There we go. I can pop this into the lathe and turn a perfect circle. Quite unusual that I work with plastic. I'm usually working with brass and steel, and so I hope this is going to work. Good. Now I'll cut the blades out and shape them. Just going to pop on the propeller. Perfect. I've done some research on this Yellow Submarine, and the top here, there were some periscopes. Hannah remembered them as funnels, but they are actually 4 periscopes coming out, 1 for each of the Beatles. And as you push this along, the periscopes turn round. So I've done some sketches and worked out the sizes. I just need to set 2 now and make 4 of them. I've got a 2-part epoxy putty. You have to make sure it's really well mixed, because the 2 parts react with each other to start making it go hard. And if there are any parts that aren't mixed, you'll get those little soft parts. Right, let's have a go at making a periscope. I'm going to make the top first. Then the main body of the periscope, I need to make 6 millimeters in diameter. Hopefully, when I've reshaped it a bit, it's going to look all right. But yeah, it's a periscope, isn't it? Just going to leave that there and get on with the other 3 now.